Sometimes I take viewer requests on what they want me to review, and when a copy is gifted to me by a friend, I feel obligated to review it. This time around, I was asked to review a dating simulator about tank girls, because it's obviously my specialty somehow. Panzermadels Tank Dating Simulator is $9.99 on Steam, and it took me about 1.5 hours to beat the first run, while playing it for about a total of 3 hours. As absurd as the concept sounds on the surface, we've seen good alternative dating simulators involving pigeons and dinosaurs of all things. As for Panzermadels, yeah, it's not one of them. Story-wise, you're Erwin, and you're training to become a tank operator for the military. You've got new transfer orders to get training at a Japanese tank school, and upon getting there, you find that things aren't exactly what they seem. As well, there are schoolgirls there. But no, in fact, you're sorta in the right place. These schoolgirls just so happen to be tanks as well, thus giving a whole new meaning to the term ammo racks. Now you get your typical anime dating cliches thrown in here. You got your Tsunade tank and your Ditzy tank, for example. And the game does its best to match the tank theme with the subject matter, and it sometimes does a good job. Taking the trope of a sudden rainstorm causing the tanks problems due to mud and traction with their treads, yeah, okay, clever. And I'll admit, I laughed at the sexual innuendo at times relating to tanks and warfare. Armor penetration, okay, well done game, well done. But the main problem here is that the writing is just not strong enough to really push the concept. Most of this really has to do with the girls themselves. They all have their own personalities for sure, but they aren't strong enough to really stand out. When you think of these alternative sims, you want characters like Okasan from Hatoful Boyfriend, unique, fun, and really taking the concept to the next level, while still feeling like it fits within the world. Panzermadels characters have their quirks, they just feel too inconsistent or just too out there for the character being built. For example, the Panzer tank, for some reason, loves satanic rituals. Look, I appreciate a good satanic ritual now and again. I've got a gallon of goat's blood begging to be used right now. But it's gotta be used right, and here, it just didn't click for me. Several of them really rely on their heritage with countries such as Russia and Germany, and yet are very inconsistent regarding the use of that. A prime example comes with the German Panzer tank once again, who's really a Japanese otaku in disguise. While yes, Germany and Japan had an alliance in the Second World War, but when it dominates the character's personality, while still using the German here and there, I feel like you've missed the mark. Now granted, I will say that the T-34 tank story worked the best for me, with the focus on Russian, communism, and loyalty. So once in a while, it does get it right, just not enough. What's also troublesome is the lack of variation between the different girls. Most of the main events of the plot are the same, with minor small text variations between them. Even though you have several of the girls having different personalities, you expect me to believe that they have the same basic reactions to certain events at times? It feels lazy. The most important aspect of a dating simulator is the characters you are wooing, and why you're wooing that particular character over others. If they don't feel different enough from each other, why am I bothering? Add on top of that a lack of resolution options, which led to the stretched out image you see before you. There's no audio sliders as well, which would have been really nice, as the game's default music needs to be turned down a notch compared to the minimal sound effects. Which, by the way, the overuse of the AOL Instant Messenger friend leaving sound, yeah, I could have done without that. In addition, there's no voice acting, which isn't required at this price tag, but may have saved the writing with some good performances. And the ending feels cheap, like funding ran out for the novel and they just had to throw something together. It's not satisfying whatsoever, and even the comedy it tries to get out of it, it fails to deliver in. It makes the whole thing feel pointless. Panzermadels just doesn't have enough treading in its writing to make it over the hill into the valley of good games. It lacks the charm that visual novels need to succeed. I don't care what happens in the story, and really, neither does the story. Despite the idea still being hilarious in concept, skip this title, as it doesn't bring enough to the table. Thanks for watching. Like the video, share it with a friend, and subscribe if you want more content like this. In the description below, you'll find the Steam review accompanying this vid, along with social media that you can follow me on, Twitter, Google+, and Facebook groups. And if you want to support the channel, click that Patreon on the left of the screen. And remember, keep on gaming.